Okay, let's get 'em. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the family, peace to the family. Peace, 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 peace. It's been a minute. You feel me? And we definitely got some things we need to touch on. What's good, y'all? What's good? Hold on, let me get this thing situated. What's good with the good people out there? Woo child. There's so much going on. How do you keep up? How do you keep up? All right, but we're going to tap in. We're going to dial it in real quick, see what we come up with. It's a whole lot going on. I don't have a lot of time, so we're going to run through what we need to run through, touch on some of these bases, and hit on some of these points. You feel me? First and foremost, I've been doing my research, going out of people's way, finding my BI, of course. Shout out to my good brother, Dr. B. Serious. He dropped the bomb on us. Going out of people's way. That's what I've been doing. Man, it's always interrupting. Yeah, I just been getting ready for this lecture, y'all. I got a webinar coming up. I have a webinar coming up this Sunday. You feel me? And yeah, it's the quantum quickening. There's no other way that I can explain it. You know, the name came in a dream as a download. Shout out to my brother Ross Ben. You know, he did a whole 2023 breakdown. And ever since I seen that, like the day before the new year began, everything has just been quantum ever since. You feel me? We're not even on the 14th or the 15th. We're not even 2 weeks in. And this shit is already off the hook, as you can see. You feel me? The shit is already off to the races. So the only thing that we can do to best qualify, you know, what's going on, I can't, you know, it's almost impossible for me to get on Instagram and still have a life every single day and keep up with the day-to-days. You feel me? But as promised, you know, I want to show people that are interested, that want to utilize these devices as black mirrors or scrying devices to do their magic. Look, I want to get in the building with y'all and I want to share what I know, you know what I'm saying, based on not just research, but receipts. I got enough receipts at this point to show and prove that I ain't got to get up here every single day. You feel me? But the days that I do get up here and whatever I talk about, it don't even take a week before it manifests. You know what I'm saying? So just the other day, I did a whole series and I was very strategic and I told y'all, I was like, yo, this is not personal. But when we do exposés, when we go in, when we start picking things apart, right? In this quantum quickening that we live in, especially if it's standing on truth. You feel me? Especially if it's standing on truth, you're going to watch the house of cards come tumbling down. Well, you have already produced to you know who. I ain't even got to speak their name no more. And I told you that institution is going to start crumbling piece by piece and brick by brick. And I'll produce the receipts and show you all of the evidence that shows and proves that. Right? But it's the same thing we was just talking about, the plant-based industry, right? And how that is, and this is all out of love. None of it is out of hate or contempt. It's saying, look, if institutions, if people have been taking advantage of us, of our people, if they have been coming, in the name of in fraudulence, if they have been coming in the name of charlatans, if they have been doing anything that is not on the up and up, not so much that I feel and my personal judgment is on the up and up, but we'll put it to the people. If the people say what it is, then that's a collective agreement amongst the people. So you already see what's taking place with the Jabbington. I told you last year, we're going to expose the medical industry. We're going to expose the media. And once those two institutions come tumbling down, a lot of things are going to fall the wayside with it. Now, that's not just something that can be said and people can laugh along with and say, yeah, son, kick the motherfucking stilts off. And a lot of things, a lot of people potentially can be harmed, by not having those things to utilize as their crutches. So it ain't like truth don't come with its own consequences or its casualties. So it's not enough just to say that we're going to expose these truths. You may hurt people in the process as well, because unfortunately our people are caught up in this paradigm where they have become dependent on false illusions that these institutions have presented themselves to be the authoritative forces in their lives, right? And they have been led to believe at some point, as all of us have been, right, that we're going to depend on or lean upon, these fictional institutions. And when the institutions start crumbling, then that's going to mess with a lot of people's, that's gonna fuck up their foundation as well. So for the ears that I can reach, for the people who do resonate, with this truth, it's to tell you, that you have to be prepared. You have to figure out a way to get out of these institutions and not be dependent or contingent upon these institutions. You have to figure out a way to source information rather than be dependent on the media to tell you what time it is because they lying to you. You got to figure out how to heal yourself, because these medical institutions are just turning you into slaves for big pharma and everything. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out a way to source a source of food that's congruent with your biological makeup rather than be dependent on these institutions that have now hijacked the whole concept of what plant-based is. It's not just enough to sit there and be like, oh, we're going to cheer on, the fact that these institutions are coming and toppling down. It's not even if you was brave enough, if you was wise enough, if you was informed enough, right? If you was in a position enough to make a decision not to get the jab, right? My personal opinion, and I can only speak for me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sharing what's on my mind with you, feeling as if you may want to be responsible in your actions and activities as well. It really does not benefit you to point out to people who did get the poison that they may be in trouble. At this point, you know what I'm saying? Like if you was mindful enough to dodge that bullet, then you already won. You don't need to rub that in nobody else's face at this point, because that becomes like abusive. You feel me? And I did it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like a post or two. And then I started getting the real life feedback from friends and family, and then other people on my timeline who lost people in their families. And then my DM is flooded with people who are now fearful, right? And they want answers about how they can do something to avoid what can potentially take place in their bodies. You know what I'm saying? And then I started feeling like a bully, and then I figured that my energy and my focus will more so be better served towards coming up with a solution rather than me beating the drums of doom and gloom and telling them that the clock is ticking. I see a lot of that on my page, though, because I remember how unjust people who are unjabbed were treated. You know what I'm saying? So I get that they wanna clap back because they didn't have no support and they were marginalized, and it's still marginalized. They feel very much oppressed in a marginalized society and community. Nobody ever says sorry, and people are still making excuses. My thing is like this, yo. People is dropping dead on a daily. You don't got to argue with nobody that still's coming up with excuses for what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at this point. If they don't want to see it for what it is, it's like you're going to post, because it's just the beginning of the year. You know how many people, unfortunately, is about to make transition on camera or on the fields. And the people are going to make every excuse possible. And the medical mafia is never going to come off of the lies. They pay very handsome sums. I wish I had the slide pulled up that shows the 8 top revenues in the country, and they're all in the medical industry. So again, when the goal is only the bag, when cash rules, right? Everybody's a hoe. You feel me? Everybody's a hoe, because you can't print more money than the feds. You're never going to have more money than the Rothschild. So you automatically are putting yourself in a subservient position to people, you know what I'm saying, who actually gives dominion over yourself. You got to find a different metric, to utilize as a ruler to denote what rulership looks like. It can never be cash. Elon Musk is a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? So the money does not equate to intelligence, does not equate to integrity. It does not equate to ingenuity. It does not equate to, you know what I'm saying? What does that equate to? So that's a false premise that too many people have supported for way too long. There has to be something else that people are reaching for. And yeah, I just, again, I can only speak for myself. So these are the conclusions that I am in my own mind coming to, you know what I'm saying? Attempting to be more emotionally intelligent and responsible for the things that I say and how I say them, because I know that I can weaponize my pen. You feel me? And I could go in, and I don't want to hurt nobody though. You know what I'm saying? But I have been hurt. But I got to feel, I got to find other ways to deal with the pain of being marginalized other than lashing out at people who didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody on my timeline was responsible for me being shadow banned or, again, signaled out or marginalized. That was higher principalities that are doing these things. So why they never get to smoke? It's just like the reparations conversation. You got Aboriginal people banging on people that say that they descendants come from the continent, and everybody's dealing with their pain body, right? A person is like, my people came here on the bottom of a boat, and they like, oh, my people was here in Virginia in the swamps, and all of y'all ended up under the hill of some fucking pilgrims. You know what I'm saying? Who took your shit and raped your folks and still got your land, and then y'all fighting. And ain't nobody talking about no pilgrims, or nobody talking about no colonists, ain't nobody talking about the church, ain't nobody talking about Spain, ain't nobody talking about the Dutch, ain't nobody talking about Britain, ain't nobody talking about none of that shit. They got y'all infighting and Mandingo wrestling online, you know what I'm saying, while they sit back and have the time of their lives, and they get to freely plot and plan how to get rid of the rest of you with all of these other shit that they talking about at the Davos summit and climate change and shit like that. So, and then they get to gauge it through digital, through web-based analytics to see how effective the propaganda programs are and how far removed and how far away people are from catching up to what the real agenda is to possibly ever do anything about it. And then AI is on the way, or it's here, should I say. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they already can calculate in metrics. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got too much information to be online talking to people who I wouldn't say necessarily don't get it, but I don't know if they have the appetite to get it, or if I give it to you, I don't know what you could do with it. But if you want this information and you feel that it's worth your while, worth your time, worth your attention, you should tap in. The link is in the bio. We're going to go in this Sunday with this quantum quickening lecture, and I'm going to lay my cards on the table, the things that I have deciphered and found out as of lately. I'm going to really lay this Law 44 thing out, in a way in which it's just impossible at this point not to get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm being very, very descriptive, very meticulous, step by step, piece by piece. Boom. And once you get it, once you understand that, I do feel that you can hack this matrix. I do feel that you can now utilize these devices as black mirrors. At least that's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm doing it. You have to have that conviction that you are above and beyond this shit, and it serves you and you don't serve it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you could put in front of me that I'm going to break down and bend down and worship. It's just not going to happen. And as a result, that level of audacity backed up by something that's actually tangible allows me to, just sit back and press buttons. And you should be in that position to do the same thing, rather than just be on this internet playing games, because you could actually move matter, fucking with this carbon device, because that's all matter is carbon. But once you wrap your mind around it, what the actual geometry of it is, what's the actual numerics of it, then you can press some buttons. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see us just being more in power and knowing that you can do whatever you need to do from the comfort of your living room. You know what I'm saying? Because everywhere that you are, that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? The entire universe exists between your right and your left ears. So you don't got to be nowhere specific. You just have to be within yourself. You have to be presently present in that body of yours, in full in contact with your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And when you close your eyes, that imagination, which is the real station, you know what I'm saying? That space station, the space between your ears, you feel me? That's the most powerful, effective place that you can ever operate from. So I put this article up yesterday. KT was saying this since 2020. And that's why I just feel like there's just people that are amongst us to deserve our apology, because motherfuckers was straight up saying, yo, y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all out of y'all mind. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all sound like conspiracy theorists. Yo, what y'all smoking? That's that new Zaza. What the fuck? And all of this shit has been manifested from everything that was said about the C-19, to everything that was said about the jab, to everything that was said about 5G, to everything that was said about everything. Motherfuckers came and told you the shit before it happened. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brothers, shout out to Red Pill, shout out to KT, and of course there's been others. But I wanna acknowledge them brothers, for being fearless and being at the forefront of individualized information. We don't even share that much information amongst one another because we be in our own bag, and then we'll come together and put some shit together. But I be in the classroom same way that y'all, when KT pull his stuff out of the dark crevices or wherever he's doing his research, it's the same thing. I show up to class when Red do his webinars and shit, and I get some of that information when y'all get it. And damn sure when they come to my webinar, they're going to see some shit that they never see me, share with them, that I share with y'all for the first times. And I be wild. I be like, this is some dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever comes back and be like, yo, goddamn, y'all was really on top of that shit. But nonetheless, that is not, that don't stop anything either. because the show must go on. It would just always be nice to get some gratitude. You feel me? That's what this shit really runs off of. You know, again, our community loves practicing toxic positivity. You know, what is that? That is all of the platitudes with nothing to back it up. You know, niggas are just slogan you to death, but the action is never there. The appreciation never manifests. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust people who can't trust themselves. There's no integrity. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck do you niggas say that they healing? How you gonna love me? How you gonna tell me that you love me and you forever healing yourself? Right? Niggas they gotta die and be born again into dolphins or some shit like that to actually know what love is. But you want me to believe that you're telling me that you love me, but you don't love yourself because you still need healing. But I'm supposed to accept that shit with an open arm. And you telling me how far your motherfucking heart chakra is manifesting through multi-dimensions and shit like that. But you injured and you traumatized still. And you still need healing. So you're letting off distorted frequencies, discordant frequencies at that. But I'm supposed to believe that you love me. Show appreciation. Show the precursors to love first, so I can open arm embrace this concept that you're talking about, right? These niggas is utilizing what's called disarming mechanisms by employing platitudes or catching something real. You feel me? So, I promised y'all, I was like, yo, look, man, I'm going to start piecing this shit together and taking this shit apart. You know what I'm saying? Want nobody on this motherfucking internet talking about the Vatican girl and how this shit is about to play out. And I told y'all, I was like, look, I'm even going to put on for her. I don't even know her. But I seen the motherfucking documentary and I felt so impassioned to get answers for her. Now they done went and opened the whole motherfucking probe back up. Now, I mean, I'm never going to get a thank you. I'm never going to get a thank you. Yeah, platitude. It means a remark or statement, especially one with a moral content that has been used too often to be interesting or thoughtful. That's what platitude means, right? Niggas will inundate you with platitudes. Peace, love, and light. That's a fucking platitude in this community, okay? Because these niggas is not peaceful. They don't have no love in them. And I can't see the motherfucking light. Because if the light existed, goddammit, it would be so much more brighter on this planet. So much more bright in this community. Right? And these goddesses wouldn't be so motherfucking single. Okay? That part. I'll read it to you again. Platitudes. A remark or statement, especially one with a moral content that has been used too often to be interesting or thoughtful. That's platitudes. Okay? And this community will inundate you with platitudes and not show you no motherfucking gratitude. Not express no gratitude. Right? And that is their attitude. And what you do frequently is your frequency. So I'm telling you some real shit so you can protect yourself from wolves in sheep clothing coming into this community and not be eaten alive from the inside out. That's why I've been up here doing what I'm doing, giving it to the real, not even showing this motherfucking camera. It's not about no identity. It's not about facial features. It's not about the visuals. Listen to the words that I'm saying. You feel me? Y'all getting caught up in the illusions too much. And you're not seeing shit for what it is. You're not able to discern because, again, they are utilizing this whole concept of lights. The glamour factor has come into this motherfucking community. You feel me? And you're getting caught up in the illusions. Now these cameras in high definition. Now these niggas is really woeing you and zoeing you with 3D and 4D graphics, and you're really falling for it now. Yeah, so all of a sudden, And shout out, again, these are to the people that have followed the live and they know that we've been beating the drum about this the Vatican girl. And I've been telling you to go watch the documentary on Netflix so you can get an idea of what they really going on in that building. Why the elegant demon that Francis talks about is walking around in that bitch. Right? Here goes this is Rupnik. You could look up the whole controversy around this individual called Rupnik, who is one of their famous artists. He has art installations all around the fucking world, right? And he has just been accused of abusing 9 people. So we know it's more like 15 or 16 if they just talking about 9 of them. The Pope is he tried to shun him. He tried to come at him. And this dude is he's so ingrained in the Jesuits, the Rupnik dude, that they're pushing back on any reforms that Francis is attempting to make in the church. They call him the woke Pope. And so go and do the research. These are the Rupnik, right? Marco Rupnik, he's a Jesuit priest, right? He's a world-renowned mosaic artist. He's accused of sexually, psychologically, physiologically, and spiritually abusing at least 9 people. The document is called Vatican Girl. Okay? So these are the reasons that they're going to tell you that there's an inner war going on in the Vatican. They're going to knock him off. He's not going to make it to the synod in October. But he just, right after Benedict died, and they released a book. The day Benedict died, they put a book out that exposes the Vatican. It was written by this dude right here, right? Benedict's aide. He just put a book out to rattle the Vatican where he's telling all of the secrets. This just happened the other day, right? And these are the things that's going to undermine and take the Vatican into a whole nother direction. They're attempting to prevent him from getting to the synod in October, which is where they're going to make all of these global reforms. And he's going to attempt to make the church woke and ease up measures and bring LGBT and all of this stuff into the church. And they want to get rid of him, so they're going to attempt to knock him off, right? He already imposed the synod on Rome the other day. This was from January 9th, right? He flipped the script and he changed the whole shit. He shook the whole diocese up. So the Vatican is in turmoil, is going through it as predicted, as I told you it would. But I'm going to fall back and I'm going to keep some of my predictions offline. And again, y'all coming to these lectures, I feel a whole lot more protected and safe in those environments, laying stuff like this out, because my receipts are actually real. I don't got nothing else to prove. Pope Pablo has made promises as the pagan pope, and I've delivered. In less than 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing left here to prove. I'm good. The motherfucking torch, the fire is lit. The fire is fully lit. This shit is totally, right? They said he has discombobulated the entire Vatican with these reorganizational rules that he just put in place the other day. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to take his life more than likely as a result. Because y'all know about the gray pope and the black pope and all of these dudes in the background that's not trying to hear that. They're going to use all of these excuses. It's really Pablo working, though. It's really Pablo. Church of England just admitted to his role that it played in slavery, and it's asking for forgiveness, right? This just happened the other day. Yesterday, matter of fact. And they are pledging $100 million, which is, chump change. But they're pledging $100 million, to absolve themselves of the sins of having a hand in slavery. And we know that, that'll never cover the cost. But it's just interesting, the timing, you know what I'm saying, and what these people are attempting to do. And again, just like I said, the Slutty Vegan article that just came out today, they got a lawsuit against Slutty Vegan saying that they was treating their employees like sluts. Okay, ironically. And we was just hitting on this last week about something don't add up. You feel me? And this concept about, once again, the woke politics to go into plant-based, this absolvent or removed from consciousness. Not that this community is any better, because this shit is full of charlatans as well, but at least it has a preconceived set of standards and precepts of ma'at that people supposed to be upholding, right? But this thing right here is just, she was paying them less than minimum wage. She was taking their tips. You know what I'm saying? She was doing a whole bunch of shit. So they sued her ass in federal court. Okay? And this is January 11th. This took place today. The timing of it is crazy. Once again, like I said, I'll show you how to use your phone as a black mirror and a scrying device, and you could look through this shit like a crystal ball and do your magic too, right? So, we just on fire with it, you know what I'm saying? We just on fire with it, and we just getting started. Just getting started. And if you on bullshit, nobody's safe. It's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be a long year. You know, Pope Pablo's just getting started. And again, this is for truth, peace, justice, freedom, and every other thing that it's supposed to be, that our community initially was founded on. What I remember when I first came into it, you know what I'm saying? When I was looking for love and looking for love in all of the right places, you know what I'm saying? And these are just the things that I felt that truth, peace, freedom, justice, equality, all of these was the precepts that were built on, that you had to establish those things before you could open your mouth and talk about love. You know what I'm saying? Before you could talk about love, you have to have those things established, or else somebody's selling you a fucking empty bill of sales, yo. It's impossible for you to have love. So yeah, you gotta have truth. You gotta have integrity. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a sense and a semblance of what freedom even entails. And you have to stand on justice, and then love and all of that kicks in, because you got to go to war first in order to achieve a state of peace. It's a state of peace. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you have to arrive at by going through something. You got to know what it is in order to get there. Then you got to defend it. People don't defend their war. They defend their peace. So how do you defend your peace without going to war? Feel me? So, yeah, that wasn't even a week's worth of work. Everything that we laying out before you, we got the receipts to show and prove. But I ain't finna be up here, on the internet, on Instagram and Facebook, giving all of the one by ones. This is how you put this, that, and the other together. But we will do it in the webinar. So you can hit the link in the bio and pull up on Sunday. And we're going to do this. We're going to go into the quantum quickening and really roll it out. You should be just excited about the quantum quickening as you are about quantum mania and what the Marvel comic universe has to show you. You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't the Marvel comic universe. This is some real shit. Shout out to my brother Ross Ben. Me and him cooked up the precursor last Monday on KTL, on the YouTube, KTL Media. You could go and check that out. That shit was profound. We did a profound warm-up on our YouTube. with Ross Ben, right? The warm up to the quantum quickening. He laid it out, talking about these earth mounds. You know, y'all never really asked, why is Ant-Man the one dealing with the quantum mania, right? Because the ants naturally build mounds, right? We have to appreciate and know what mounds are, what they entail. Yep, the webinars are recorded. Experiencing device glitches in their device the last few days, especially yesterday. Every device that I had was glitching, everything. And I remember going to Sedona. I was in a vortex when I was in Sedona in February of last year, and I remember how my phone was acting, right? My shit was full, you know. It just filled up. It was like storage is full. It was just glitching. It was turning itself off. It was doing things, you know, that I wasn't even commanding it to do. It was like that yesterday. My phone, my storage was full, my computers, and I'm working on 3 computers. You know what I'm saying? All of them was glitching. You feel me? I was peeing like a racehorse. I don't know if that's too much information. You know, but Dr. B Serious on the webinar on Saturday he did on Black Magic 363 with Billy Carson, he said that January 9th and 10th is going to be like our new year, right? He was speaking about 270 days counting forward from the last good year or Good Friday or one of them days. Long story short, he was speaking about this metaphysical principle of how, you know, how they giving you the metaphysics of what Santa Claus means, and the colostrum fluid is coming down the spine and activating this, that, and the other, and the gifts under the trees, all of the metaphysics behind the Christmas tree and Santa and shit like that. He was saying that's supposed to have happened yesterday on the 9th and the 10th. And I can definitely attest that there was something that took place that affected the electrical grid system technologically and biologically yesterday. Hence the fact that the FAA experienced a glitch in their computer system and they had to down or ground all of the airplanes. So what I seen happen later on with the airplanes, I was already experiencing that all day with my computers. My computers was acting crazy all day, just glitching. You feel me? So, yeah, I just wanted to know if people were experiencing the same thing. Okay, 2 huge solar flares. I could definitely, it felt like that. It felt like that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Dr. B Serious for catching that download in real time. You know what I mean? It's not the they's not playing with us. Okay, the green comet as well, yes. It's not the days, it's cosmic, you know. It's something that's definitely taking place in the universe, and we're feeling the frequencies and the download energy from it, you know. So just be mindful, you know. Don't rack your brains too hard.
This collide that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on planet Earth right now, who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, from another dimension. And that's the purpose of the collider. I mean, people need to understand, this is not science fiction. This is fact.
That's correct. What I write about in my novels,
right,
I place a storyline that is embedded with science fact. Everything that I present publicly in the books, public speaking, is all drawn from their own scientific journals and white papers. And then I'm able to see what they're doing. Not just extrapolate, but see in the real time what it is they're doing. Not a future agenda, but what they're doing right now today.
Right.
The imminency of what they intend to do, which is opening this gateway. And understand that the world of science in terms of particle physics also overlaps into DNA, into biology.
Yes.
There's a multifaceted, multi-level agenda at play, not just with CERN, but it's proof of concept feeder labs around the world that feed into CERN. So we are talking about changing humans, changing the planet. We're talking about not only bringing in information through a portal, we're also talking about definitively changing our way of life. This is a threat to our existence, to the creation of mankind.
A threat to our existence, a threat to the creation of mankind. So they're communicating with some kind of entity. You and I would believe that these entities are fallen angels.
Right.
It's real, y'all. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is not to stoke any fears. It's not to beat the drums of doom and gloom. And it's not to sell tickets to our quantum quickening. But you should get a ticket because the information that I have is right in line with what these brothers are speaking on. Right? I just have the receipts in real time. You feel me? But again, anything that they have access to do with their quantum computers, there's no quantum computer that's stronger than your brain, stronger than your melanin, and stronger than your intention. So we too should be working, all of these vortexes and these openings, you know what I'm saying? We should still also be taking full advantage of the things that we have access to. You know what I mean? And never living in fear. This is the God year. So you have to step into your God body. You feel me? And totally activate. The time is now. Yeah, my phone's still glitching. Yes, there will be a replay of the quantum quickening. It came real quick and unexpected.
To see you back here in Davos, because I remember before you assumed your position as Vice President of the United States, you came here as a senator, you came here as the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate. And I have to say, in my memory, you were one of the most engaged and hardest working participants here at the annual meeting. I watched you in the morning up to midnight sometimes, one engagement after the other one. And also to our discussion, which we had at dinner 2 days ago. The fourth industrial revolution has one big challenge. It is the holding out of the middle class.
And Dr. Schwab, when we had dinner the other night, you and your wife, I asked you whether you ever anticipated 22 years ago, when you started this group, that it would ever grow as large and as consequential as it's become. I have made 9 other trips. I think this is, quite frankly, a more convenient fora than the United Nations to meet with world leaders and business leaders. And it's a great opportunity to get an awful lot done. You've written extensively on the topic that you've asked me to speak to, mastering the fourth industrial revolution. This fora defines that as change fueled by a digital revolution. But there are two questions, it seems to me, that we have to address forthrightly at the outset. First, will this revolution actually transform the global economy? And secondly, if it does, will it be for the better or for worse for humanity as a whole?
So please,
be for the better or for worse, for humanity as a whole.
So please to see you back here in Davos, because I remember before you assumed your position as Vice President of the United States, you came here as a senator, you came here as the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate. And I have to say, in my memory, you were one of the most engaged and hardest working participants.
So, the second part of that video, he speaks about the biggest thing that they have that stands between them and their agenda is the middle class. I've been doing lectures. I did a lecture in November of 2019 in New York I opened up, matter of fact, for Billy Carson at Brother Richard's event, and I did a whole lecture on the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I've been speaking about this stuff since then. I've been studying it, though, since 2017, you feel me? 2017 and 2016. But I've been studying this stuff way longer than that. But specifically, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, I've been speaking on and studying that. You dig what I'm saying? Since that point in time. And I did a lecture on it in 2019. The Fourth Industrial Revolution is what is called the synergistic relationship between, or the symbiosis between man and machine. Hence the fact that I came up with the catchphrase, is man gonna mount machine on me, machine going to mount man. I've been seeing the script a long time ago. So when mRNA and all of that stuff came, I was able to stand my position because I already knew the Fourth Industrial Revolution dealt with merging man with machine, right? That's all Fourth Industrial Revolution is about that they keep speaking on, right? Or how to put, like, if I put a chip into, I make a smart home, but I make the smart home fibers out of like hempcrete or living matter, and I put a chip in it. That's Fourth Industrial Revolution, right? The symbiosis between chips and living entity, right? The bio, the biosphere or the bio realm, bio meaning life, things that are living coming into contact with things that are inorganic, such as computer chips, and how that's going to change everything. So that's what the Great Reset is particularly about. It's an energy reset, and the energy is tied into the money because fossil fuel is tied into the petroleum dollar. So they're all one and the same. And then comes Big Pharma. I was going to conferences in 2005, Fortune 500 conferences where they were speaking about telemedicine. 2005, okay? They were speaking about they will be able to remotely deal with patients by putting nanobots inside of them. A doctor could be in India and he can program a nanobot in the U.S. on how to reconstruct somebody's organ inside of them utilizing nanobots. I sat in the audience and listened to this stuff way long ago. I was in the same audience when the Home Depot CEO was talking about the middle class. Those articles are just coming out right now where he's talking crazy about the middle class is too lazy. They don't want to work and they're holding back the economy. These people, you know what I'm saying? And I've been coming back and telling people what they've been on. So, yeah, like I said, we got tickets for this program, the Quantum Quickening. I'm going to lay out some more receipts and I'm going to give you some more predictions about where this thing is heading based on our high-level observations and knowing what the fuck it is that we're looking at. We haven't missed yet. Why are we going to start missing now? Again, and this is not for, to add any extra weight to your mental to be like, damn, shit, this is the agenda. What am I going to do? This information is always to give you a leg up. This information always is to give you an advantage. Whatever way that you want to utilize the information, whether you want to be prepared before it comes. Shit, some people might take the information and want to, You might want to hedge against the market. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you might want to do, you're going to need some information to do it. You're going to need the insight in order to see this thing for what it is. So when it happens, you don't be reactionary. You know? Whatever you choose to do with the information is what you choose to do with it. Right? But I think that you would be that much more empowered if you had the information as opposed to not. You can ignore it all that you want, but that's not going to make it go away. You feel me? And we are in a quantum quickening, so things are happening very, very quick, and things are going to change very abruptly. You know what I'm saying? We're not even on week 2 of January, and there's already things that are already in full swing. You know what I mean? They're already in full swing. You know? And yeah, and the lies are just at the point. This shit is just out of control. Like there's just, they're not even trying no more.
Why does our culture build up celebrities into almost royalty and then tear them down? What if I told you that this goes back to an ancient tradition, the tradition of the fool, the king, and the wicker man? In ancient cultures, there was a tradition of sacrifice in which they would elect a fool to be king for a day or some other period of time. This person would be fed with the best gifts, supplied with women, anything that they desired. They would preside over a feast and be called a king. In the movie The Wicker Man and the book The Golden Bough, this ancient tradition is discussed in depth. The sacrifice of the fool king can be traced back to ancient Rome, where a fool was chosen to be a mock king and appointed to head the feasts of Saturnalia. At the end of the feast, this fool king would be sacrificed, often with the fool still believing he was really a king. Careful what you wish for if you want to be famous. Follow me for more info like this.
So yeah, you know, as we head towards Lupercalia, you know, February 13th, we just left Saturnalia, you know what I'm saying? And we're heading towards Lupercalia, you know. These things are real. Like, there's a lot going on. You feel me? There's a lot going on. And this YSL case is interesting. You know, this YSL case is very interesting. The implications of what it entails and how they are ritualizing the solar aspect energy of Young Thug, who is a Leo. He represents the sun, right? The way that they line him up in Capricorn, dealing with the death of the sun, you know, or lead itself, or the goat, or Shaitan, if you will. You know, the way that they are ritualizing him, and the way that they are going to transgress that trial, leading into, I think it's going to stretch all the way into summer. Right? The way that they're going to ritualize that boy is not going to be funny. You feel me? I never thought that I would live to see the day. Never thought that I would live to see the day where I could say that the two most realest niggas in the game is Charleston White and Tekashi 6ix9ine. I never thought in a million years that I would be sitting here fixing my mouth to say some shit like that. Right? And I will tell you why. They're the only ones that are comfortably living in character. They're the only ones that are standing on their truths, which are untruths. Right? They're the only ones that are standing in their truth. Even if that truth is not palatable to us, if that's not a truth that we're comfortable with, if we're saying, shit, that's a tough pill to swallow, at least they're standing in their truth and they're not deviating from it. They went totally opposite of the bullshit and they stood on their motherfucking square. Look at Troy Ave, look at Tekashi, and look at Charleston White, right? None of these individuals are the prototypical thug niggas. None of them are the prototypical tough guys. But they went against this facade, fake tough industry and said all of that shit is bullshit. And I'm willing to show you, right? Even Kanye, what he said, as the pussy, right? These are the ones that are going against the industry and destroying it from within to show you that it is a facade with real life casualties, though. It's a facade with real blood, right? It's like a movie set where, like how they were shooting on a set with the Rust, with Alex Baldwin. They were shooting real guns and shooting people for real, like real people was dying. That's this shit. So real people are dying, but this shit is a facade. It's built on a house of lies. It's built on a house of cards. It is endemic and emblemic of everything else that's going on in this society. It's a false premise, but those tears that the mothers are sharing is real. The tears that the mothers are shedding, should I say, are real tears. But ain't nobody stopping and pausing and saying, damn, our mamas is being hurt. Right? Ain't nobody stopping long enough to say, yo, man, they mamas, these mamas' tears is crying. Them is some real, nobody gives a fuck. They lying. They care about tears from Jewish mothers, but ain't nobody caring enough about our mamas' real tears. These real casualties. Somebody has to fight to save these babies from this industry that is just manufacturing, a baby killing factories. They're just manufacturing little niggas and things of that nature. That's just like, yo, nobody's gonna take a stand and say bullshit. Like, as parents, it's like you do not. You're. I don't want to talk about. Yeah, let me.
Coming at you right now, man. Hey, bro, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave y'all alone, bro. How come when somebody tell you ain't no street nigga, you ain't about this, you ain't about that, you do everything in your power to prove them wrong?
Everything.
But if a nigga be like, shit, you can't get no education, you can't get this master's degree, you can't, you feel me? You be like, oh, school ain't for everybody. Okay, so let me get this straight, bitch ass nigga.
Oh.
You would rather risk your life trying to prove a nigga wrong instead of bettering your life and prove a nigga wrong. Black people starting to piss me the fuck off, bro. For real, bro. All that, I'm trying to be a street nigga. I'm a street nigga. Man, nigga, all the street niggas trying to get up out the streets because the street ain't street no more. All these niggas around this bitch ratting, shooting at niggas, ain't even aiming a pistol, but just shooting that bitch. Pussy ass niggas, man. For real, bro. Black people starting to piss me off. I'm talking about black people starting to shoot the fuck out each other. But, watch a white man, I ain't even gonna say white man, watch the police shoot a nigga and get off. And then your stupid ass double back and do the same shit, and your stupid ass going to jail for life.
So look, y'all.
You a whole nother statistic in the motherfucking system, man. You tell it, I'm talking about, man, black people starting to piss me off. I'm talking about, y'all see somebody trying to do something better with their life, and y'all down talk him like a motherfucker. But you see a nigga.
Look, I got a minute left. You know what I'm saying? Get them tickets. The link is in the bio for the Quantum Quickening. I'm not going to be on IG too much longer. Doing this, I cannot do that. I got to get back to putting this lecture together, this webinar, and giving value to those who believe in themselves enough to lend value to what it is that we're doing.